Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very exciting Azamara webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run about 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Nils Lindstad. Nils is the Associate Vice President of Sales and Trade Support for Azamara. He has worked in the cruise industry since 2001 and has been with Azamara since 2009. Nils was born and raised in Miami, Florida, and still lives there with his wife and 2 sons. And with that, take it away, Nils.
Well, thank you, Anna. Appreciate that introduction, and good afternoon or good morning to all of you joining us today, wherever you're coming from. Hope all of you have been staying safe and healthy during these times, interesting times. As Anna mentioned, I am in Miami, Florida, and I'm working from my home office. We did close the offices for Royal Caribbean back in March, so been home pretty much ever since then. But I think like anything, we adapt and we make it work, right? So a lot more of Zoom meetings and WebExes and go-to webinars, but still nice to connect virtually. So again, welcome, and I think we'll get started here. So as Anna mentioned, we're going to go about 45 minutes, and then we'll leave some time for some Q&A. I'm going to go through some key brand updates and give you some good information for a lot of things that have happened over the past 6 months. So again, thanks for taking the time with me. First and foremost, I just want to show our 3 ships. All 3 of them are currently sitting and waiting for the restart in Glasgow, Scotland. So the closest ship to us on your right is the Azamara Journey. The ship in the middle there is the Azamara Quest, and the ship kind of all the way to the left and forward is the Azamara Pursuit. So I think all of you know this, but these were the former Renaissance ships. So all 3 have the same physical plant, which makes it nice. Anna and I were talking before this, and we did do a virtual ship inspection. I think it was back at the end of June, beginning of July for the Azamara Pursuit. So that is posted on CLIA's site. So if you haven't checked it out, it'd be a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about Azamara and the inside of the ship. But it's unique to have these 3 ships all is the same footprint. The Quest, which is the ship in the middle, is kind of what we're calling the mothership right now. And there's cables that extend both forward and backward that we're able to keep connected to what's going on into the other 2 ships. There is still a limited number of crew that is, of course, watching these ships and anxiously waiting for us to restart operations. All 3 ships were supposed to be in the Med this season, and it was just a natural fit to kind of keep them tied up here in Europe again and waiting for our return. So I think all of you had heard the exciting news yesterday. To me, I think this is a great step forward for the cruise industry. It was back in, I believe it was the end of June, beginning of July, where it was announced the Blue Ribbon Healthy Sail panel that was a collaboration between Royal Caribbean Group and NCL Holdings. We had 2 co-chairs, Governor Mike Leavitt and Dr. Scott Gottlieb, 2 real experts in their field. And they have just done a great job working with the other panel members that were on here, internal members within the Royal Caribbean Group, and of course with Norwegian Cruise Holdings. And their initial plan was presented yesterday to the CDC. I will also say there was feedback, of course, came from, Carnival had kind of done some research on their end. MSC, which has started back cruising in Europe, they provided some input, and I know a lot of other the lines too that have done a restart have been unbelievable in sharing the information that they have. And of course, this was meant to share, right? This wasn't just Royal and Norwegian coming together and we're not going to share. We're going to keep this close to the vest. So it I think it was 70 recommendations across 5 focus areas that are out there. And again, every cruise line has this information that they can review and see if it makes sense for them. The one thing I do want to highlight, of course, this is the recommendations we have given to the CDC, right? They still need to review them. They need to give the approval on all of them. And, that's kind of, from what I see here, the next step to get all of us back in the water and sailing again. CLIA had started in mid-July, it was, the public's request for information, which has been live on their site. And I know they've gotten a number of folks submitting answers to the questions that they had. I know there was a huge drive with CLIA and its members, and I thank all of you who jumped in and submitted your responses to the information that they were asking on, because I think we are a wonderful industry, and it's tough to see us in this predicament right now. But I think, like I said, yesterday was a great step forward. The request for information ended yesterday. The current no sale order with CLIA expires with the CDC, not with CLIA, expires September 30th. So that's 8 days from now. So, they have to make a public announcement on the cruise industry, specifically sailing out of North America. So to me, it's all positive. It's great things, to come, hopefully going forward in this month, I hope. But just to kind of key in on this, there was 5 key areas of focus that were announced yesterday. And again, I'll preface this. These are the recommendations, right? So nothing has been set in stone yet as to these are the absolute protocols that will be out there when we are sailing. But testing, 100% testing of passengers and crew for COVID-19 prior to embarkation. There will be screenings during embarkation and also during during the voyage. Exposure reduction, that of course includes masks wearing when social distancing isn't a possibility. Great focus on sanitation. I think hopefully all of you have been on a cruise, either with Azamara or another Royal Caribbean group ship, but it was always forefront to wash your hands, especially if you were coming to a dining room. But obviously that will get taken to another level just to make sure everyone is staying sanitized and washing their hands. Also ventilation on board. So really, drilled into the air management and ventilation strategies on board our ships. We want to increase the fresh air on board, and where feasible, of course, use enhanced filters and other technologies to mitigate any risk of any type of airborne COVID exposure. And then, the third focus here is response. If there is something that happened on the ship, that the team is ready to react and respond in a quick and timely manner. Just kind of looking at each ship and how would they would need to manage their medical needs. Dedicated cabin capacity, which could be allocated for isolation, again, if needed. But, this is all about the contingency and planning, right? Just making sure we have a plan if something were to happen and clear guidelines on how to execute that. The fourth one, focus destination and excursion planning. So the recommendation right now is, only permit shore excursions according to the cruise operator's prescribed protocols. And it'd be strict adherence to all passengers, that if you got off the ship and you were on let's just say it was an Azamara excursion, you stayed within that group on the Azamara excursion, you didn't leave, or there would be a denial of reboarding for any passengers that do not comply. And that's all just to keep everyone else on board the ship, whether it be guest or crew, safe during these times. And of course, the fifth one, mitigating risks for our crew members. So, and you see that you can read the "Did you know" below there. Again, these recommendations are freely available to all cruise lines and even other industries. So hotels or theme parks, they can review this, and if they find, some of this is an education to them, they can review the recommendations we have and take full advantage of it. So again, I will say it was an exciting day yesterday to get this out, and hopefully waiting for the CDC to kind of react after this period of requests for information that they had open to the public. So more to come. And actually, before I move on this, I just really want to emphasize too that as soon as we get the approvals and we are able to clearly define and give you more details as it relates to all of these, there will be a training session that not just the Royal Caribbean Group would do. I would imagine all the other cruise lines would be holding these educational sessions just to make sure all of you completely understand what are the protocols. I know your clients are going to be asking, they're going to want details. So I would say just stay tuned. All of us have been building out plans to kind of react as soon as we get the approval. So we can, jump on some webinars, send you flyers. Maybe it's it's an ebook with all the details, just so you have it ready, available at your fingertips, and you can understand it, digest it, and effectively communicate it to your clients. So more to come on that. I'm sure some of you might have been asking about that. So I would just say too, for us, it's interesting times, of course, but www.azamara.com/travel-advisory. We kind of have all our latest updates as it relates to a travel alert or regulation. Cruisingpower.com as well is a great resource to get any information as it relates to past suspensions, if there were any future ones. Obviously, if you had someone that was on a voyage that was impacted, of course you will be copied in on any email communication to let you know of your client's booking. Just want to give a quick update here on the current suspensions by ship for Azamara. So currently the Azamara Journey is suspended through October 31st, 2020. The Azamara Quest is suspended through November 14th, 2020. That was, the end of the European season for Quest. And it just kind of made sense to cancel those last two voyages we had there. And then the Azamara Pursuit, last week, we made the announcement the Pursuit was going to be down in Australia. Hopefully, you all had seen last week, Royal and Celebrity had also announced the suspension through December 31st, 2020 for their vessels that were going to be in the Australia region. And that all stemmed from the Australia government closing their ports at least through the end of the year. So we had to make a decision there. But these are the suspensions for all three ships that we currently have. Is a reminder of what we have been offering to anyone that was on a global suspension. Lift and shift has been a great option that we've seen great pickup rate from guests that have this. In essence, they're lifting their booking from whatever the suspended voyage is and shifting it forward to the following year. It could be plus or minus 4 weeks. If it's around the same number of nights per sailing, if it's a day or two more, they're still honoring it. They can keep their same stateroom selection, category selection. Well, obviously, if the stateroom's still available, of course, but at least the category selection, whatever price program they might have had, whatever onboard credit they might have had, and literally it is just shifting it forward to the following year. Oh, sorry, I see there's a little title here. It says no later than June 10th. I guess I grabbed an old one here, but it all depended on when that suspension was, and there was always a 2-week deadline after we announced the suspension as to when you would be able to react with the lift and shift. And of course, the commission is protected on the reservations that are paid in full. So the best value, of course, is the FCC, which is 125% of the value of what was paid on the booking. That just needs to be used on or before December 31st, 2021, and it applies to any sailing by April 30th, 2020. This is automatic. This isn't something you would have to request. Usually for FCCs, it's been taken about 30 to 40 days, I would say, after we announce the suspension to get the FCCs in your client's hand, and of course, a copy for you, the travel advisor of record. And the commission is protected on both ends. So on the canceled booking, assuming it was paid in full, you get commission paid on that. And then when the future cruise credit is applied, you would get commission on the future cruise credit. And then, of course, if a refund is what the client wants, absolutely, they're entitled to 100% refund of the amount paid. Even if they had taken the FCC and they had the FCC physically in their hand right now, they still have until the end of this year to make a decision if they still want a refund or not. Refunds for us have been taking about 30 to 45 days. I would say, on the earlier suspension, I think this is something that, our reservation systems were never built for this type of mass refunds, nor were our accounting teams prepared to do this. But I think, we've learned a lot over the past 6 months, and I would say the last couple suspensions we've done, I want to say the refunds have been much more in a timely manner, right around that 30-day mark. So that's kind of just a quick update there. And just to talk about ways that you can take advantage of those programs if you need to, through automation. Of course, you can call our call center, but if you'd like to do it on your own, cruisingpower.com. And if you go to brand programs and news, there is a Cruise with Confidence link there. You click that, and this gets you to this page where you kind of have your options here of request a refund, lift and shift, best price guarantee. I'll talk about that one a little bit more in a second. And then, of course, cancel a cruise if you're looking to take advantage of Cruise with Confidence, which is my next slide. So Cruise with Confidence is something we put in kind of early on when the pandemic started. It allows pretty much the ultimate flexibility for your client. They can cancel up to 48 hours before the sailing. They will not lose any of their money. 100% of what they paid will get back to them in the form of a future cruise credit. They could also take advantage of lift and shift into the next year. The same parameters I had mentioned as lift and shift was for the global suspension. Basically, it's plus or minus a month on each end, or plus or minus a day or two. And even if there's, we've had situations where, let's just say that someone was on a Greece intensive voyage in May 2020 that was impacted, and there wasn't an applicable sailing in May 2021, but there was one in, let's say, September 21. We would look at that and honor that to move it to that sailing. And then best price, best offer guarantee. So this really means once you make your booking, you have a best price guarantee. So if at any point in time between now and final payment, if the price drops, your client is entitled to reshop their booking and get that lower price. If final payment has been made, the difference of the price difference will come back in the form of an onboard credit. But this is a great option, Cruise with Confidence. It's something you should be talking to your clients about if they're thinking about cruising and they're kind of still have that hesitation. It's a great program. It currently right now is set to expire September 30th as well. But I believe there will be an announcement here shortly if this will be extended or not. So I would just say stay tuned for that. Actually, if I just come back here real quick, because I kind of talked about if you had a client who's kind of thinking about booking or not, just to give you some insight as it relates to Azamara. So back in pretty much ever since this happened, I would say it started in April, that we started going out to our loyalty guests, and we were just taking a temperature check and trying to figure out how are they feeling. And actually, I would say the first communication we sent to them was, how often do you want to get our communications right now? Some people said, keep it going, is same regular pattern as you had. I'll call it a small, medium, or large, right? So large was everyone still wanted the same amount of communication. Medium was, instead of, sending me a communication, once a week or twice a week, do it once or twice a month. And then the low was, I'm not really ready right now. I still want to receive communications. And there we shifted it to about, once a month or once every 2 months. But it was really interesting to get that temperature check, because, a lot of advisors I've spoken with, some of them, they feel it's not the right time for their clients. This isn't the right environment. And usually I ask them like, well, is that your assumption or is that what your clients have told you? And some of them said it's my clients, but some are saying, I personally don't feel it's the right environment. And I guess I would just say to you, have those conversations with your clients because some might want to, start dreaming about their 2021 Greek Isle voyage. These are interesting times, and I think for a lot of us, vacations were canceled this year. And we have seen tremendous success with sales that we have run. We just launched a new promotion to start September. And, we have just seen still, even in this environment, robust sales. So I would just say, if you haven't had those discussions with your clients and to temperature check them and see how they feel, please do. Because I think you might be surprised with some who are ready to start dreaming and planning a vacation for next year. So here's the next update I just want to kind of give here. So this is our new Greece itineraries for 2021. We did announce, as well, it was a busy week last week for us. We redeployed our Azamara Pursuit, which was originally in Q2 21 going to be doing Japan intensives and some other Asia voyages. So we redeployed it for the ship to now come to Europe earlier. Originally, the Pursuit wasn't going to get to Europe until the middle of June 2021. Now we are getting there on May 9th. We've come out with 6 new Greece intensive voyages. These are repeating the same ports of call for all 6 voyages. They're Piraeus round trip. Of course, Piraeus is the main port for Athens, but the majority of them are 7-night voyages. We do have 1 6-night voyage. You're going to be touching 6 to 7 ports on the itinerary. We have 4 late night stays. But this is been selling really well. You have the iconic ports, of course, of Mykonos. We're in Ephesus, in Turkey for Kushadasi. But we're also going to some of these smaller, lesser known ports, Thessaloniki, Kavala. So, we being small ships, it really does allow us to get to some of these smaller ports that the big ships just cannot get into. So you got the 6 dates there for these new Greece intensive voyages. They are live on our website. They're live on Espresso. So please make sure if you have any clients that were looking for Greece and that you weren't finding anything in early May 21, know that we just opened these up. We also did I did a webinar with our director of our land programs last week, Gina Dunnett, on Thursday. If you were not able to join us, we did record the presentation, and you can see that on our Azamara Connect travel advisor page. And I'll give you that address, the web address, a little bit later here, if you want to go and watch that webinar as well. So we did announce too last week that we opened our 2022 and 2023 itineraries. So we kind of had all the way open through Q1 22. So now we have announced the balance of 2022, and we opened up the first quarter of 2023 last week. Some high-level details here. We're visiting 70 countries. We got 275 unique ports, 300 late nights, and 170 overnights. So continually building on that destination immersion platform that Azamara is known for and built for. Between 22 and 23, what we just announced, we will have the most country-intensive voyages that we have ever had. And if you haven't heard that term, country-intensive voyage, I'll just jump back here. This, in essence, is what a country-intensive voyage is. It focuses, if not every single port of call, the majority of them on one specific country. So, we have Greece intensive, we have Croatia intensives, Norway intensives, Iceland intensives, anything you can think of. For the most part, we have an intensive voyage, and it just allows your clients to delve deeper into a specific country instead of a port here in one country, another port here in another country, and they have been amazingly popular for us. So that is country intensives in our new deployment for 22-23. I did mention our current promotion launched on September 1st, so it is a double upgrade. So this is a 2-category upgrade. So in essence, for the price of an interior room, you were going to get a veranda. For the price of an ocean view room, you will get a veranda plus. And for the price of a veranda, you will get a club continent suite. It is by far always been one of our most popular promotions. And right now, it is running from September 1st all the way through November 18th. And there you can kind of see the veranda stateroom at an interior price, veranda plus at ocean view, and a club continent suite at veranda. It is applicable from March 20 all the way through April 11th, 2022. So it is on a whole list of sailings. There are, of course, some blackout dates. And you can see the, how many are there? 5 that are there. But for the rest, it does apply to those sailings all the way through April 11th, 2022. And again, this is going to be going on for the next 2.5 months, and will expire on November 18th. So cruisingpower.com/Azamara. I mentioned the recorded webinar I did with Gina last week. That is where you could find that recorded webinar as well. If you need any marketing materials or any toolkits, the flyer for double upgrade is there. Group policy information is there. One-page flyer on who or what Azamara is, information on the key demographics of the guest for Azamara, you will be able to find on that page as well. So anything and everything that you would need there, educational programs, even past recorded webinars, not just the one I did with Gina last week, that would all be ready, available for you to find here. Here's a little bit more detail on our travel partner portal, which we call Azamara Connect. And in the top right, I just wanted to make a comment about this too. This was announced, I want to say it was the May timeframe, June timeframe, that the Royal Caribbean Group was honoring whatever commission level you were at this year will be honored all the way through 2022. So I think all of you know is, usually your commission level is dependent on your level of production. With this year being as strange as it has, the valued travel advisors that you are trying to keep those same levels this year just was impossible. We also realized 21 might be a bit of a weird year as well as we get through this. So the Royal Caribbean Group has extended the commissions all the way through 2022, which I think is amazing. And you guys don't have to worry about productions for this year or next year. This one, at Azamara, we truly believe we are industry leaders in trade engagement and education. The Azamara World Academy, that is on our Travel Connect site. If you haven't taken it, I highly encourage you to take it. With the Azamara World Academy, if you sell 3 cruises within 90 days, you actually will earn a free voyage yourself. So it is definitely it is in your best interest to take it and start selling Azamara to earn a free cruise. Trade Connect, that is our monthly newsletter that we're usually having. I mentioned the travel partner portal, Azamara Connect. Our travel partner asset library. If you need a logo of Azamara, if you need a destination shot, that is the best place to get some of our assets. And of course, we also do have our tag, our travel advisor selling guide, that is ready, available as well on cruisingpower.com. And one thing that isn't listed up here, which I would just mention because we feel very strongly about this at Azamara, and we have done it year in and year out for a long time. I've been with the brand for 11 years, and it's been a long time that we've been doing this, but we really believe in seminars at sea, voyages. Every year, as I mentioned, we would have our sales managers hosting one, and we, to get all of you on board and experience what Azamara is truly all about, in our opinion, is the best way for you to sell Azamara. So I know we haven't been able to do that this year, of course, but please look out for that in 2021. It is something we are passionate about and will continue to offer and do, is offer those seminars at sea and travel advisor rates, because we really do want you to get on board and experience the Azamara product. So I've been talking about the sales team, so really just wanted to kind of highlight them here as well. So I got Katie Gerhardt. She's our director of sales in the East, and she has 5 strategic business development managers: Lionel Garcia, Claude Gerard, Janet Johnson, Wendy Spellman, and Bob Meisler. So they are on the eastern part of the United States and Canada. And then Vanessa Janvier is their inside sales support. And then Lori Goldspiel is our director of sales for the West. She is managing our 4 sales managers there, which is Mitch Platt, Tiffany Kilgass, Kelly Ross, and Eva Horn. Again, they're the west side of the United States and Canada. And then Damaris Mesa, who is the inside sales support for the West. And then also we have Lisa Alvarez, who is our manager of national accounts, and Jocelyn Saldana, who's the account executive for national accounts. If you do not know who your sales manager is, and it's kind of tough to read, which sales managers, color code is here, please send an email to sales support@azamara.com. We will be more than happy to get you in touch with your Azamara dedicated SBDM. I feel like Azamara is unique during these times. We have kept the sales team 100% intact during these times. They have been there for the travel advisors out in the field, whether it be as part of a suspension, a refund issue, an FCC issue. Our team has been there the whole time. And I think it truly does set us apart during these times. And we want you to know we'll continue to be there for all of you for any needs that you have as it relates to Azamara. But again, if you do not know who your local sales business development manager is, please just reach out to salessupport@azamara.com, and we will find and connect you with your sales manager. And here's our sales team. So I mentioned earlier it's different, right? Being in this kind of virtual environment, but we're all still here to partner with you and support you, whether it be via Zoom instead of an in-person conversation, or a lunch and learn, or grabbing a cup of coffee. We are fully engaged and doing everything virtual. We have members that are hosting bi-weekly. Mitch does Mitch and Martinis bi-weekly. Bob does a gin and topics Zoom meeting bi-weekly with his territory. So we're definitely still finding creative ways to connect and engage with all of you. And basically those are kind of my updates, Anna. For now, I think I went a little quicker than I thought it was going to be, but hopefully that just leaves a little bit more time for some questions from everyone on the call.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we do have some questions coming in. We have some about safety procedures on board. I know that everybody is wondering. I know that you spoke to that, but if you have any more updates about wearing a mask or being tested, any information you have, we'll take that.
So as I mentioned, we did come out with the recommendations that testing 100% for passengers and crew would be required prior to embarkation. As it relates to the specific details of that, we don't have that yet. I think once we get the approvals back from the CDC, we'll be in a better position to share those details. The mask wearing, the recommendation, again, of course, was for folks to wear a mask when social distancing is not an option. So, and that's tough, Etta, because to try to speculate exactly what is going to be the 100% plan until the CDC kind of reviews and gives their approval on the recommendations. So I think I mentioned it earlier on, just stay tuned. As soon as we hear back from the CDC and kind of get their approvals, all of the details and dotting the I's and crossing the T's will be relayed to all of you.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Our next question is from Dana. I imagine you get these kinds of questions a lot. She is wondering, are cruise loyalty levels applicable across other Royal Caribbean brands?
So yes, they are. There are reciprocal benefits between Celebrity and Royal Caribbean. On our travel partner Connect page, so again, cruisingpower.com/Azamara, there is a flyer there that does a great job of spelling out the reciprocal benefits depending on the tier of Royal Caribbean or what tier you are in Celebrity. And the interesting thing, though, too, for Celebrity, we have a shared loyalty program between Celebrity and Azamara. So the Captain's Club number on Celebrity is the same Azamara Circle loyalty number for Azamara.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Susie, who is wondering if there is some kind of Excel summary spreadsheet or anything available for the 22-23 deployments.
I know we had a PDF, but Susie, if you are looking for an Excel, if you send in the email request to salesupport@azamara.com, we'll have someone that can send you an Excel file.
Perfect. Our next question is from Marlene, who is wondering if Azamara has made any decisions about keeping or eliminating safety drills.
Great question, Marlene. I'm surprised I forgot about this one, but you did hear a month, I guess it was month and a half ago, about Muster 2.0 that the Royal Caribbean Group announced. So that will include Azamara, which I am so thankful and so happy for. I'm sure all of you who have been on a cruise, there was nothing worse than you just unpacked and you just grabbing a drink or relaxing, and they close the bars and make you go to the lifeboat drill. So this is probably one of the good things that has come out of this pandemic that will dissuade social distancing, right? We won't be putting people together. So yes, it will be applicable to us. Right now, the Pursuit has an app for the ship, but IT is feverishly working, and we have been told when we do go back to service, both the Quest and the Journey will also have the app. So Muster 2.0 is definitely applicable to Azamara as well.
Perfect. Our next question is from Wayne, who is wondering if prices drop on cruises, do clients need to submit a request to receive a lower price, or if this is done automatically?
So in order to take advantage of the best price guarantee, yes, you have to look and submit the request to lower it. It is not automatic.
Got it. And our next question is from Dan, who is wondering if by any chance you have any insight when Europe and specifically Greece will open to U.S. citizens.
I do not. I do. There was a European brand that I know was recently in Greece. I want to say it was TUI. So to me, that's a good sign. They're welcoming cruise ships. I think it was on I don't think all ports were open, but they're at least open, which I think is good news. But yes, I do not know when Greece would be allowing U.S. citizens.
Makes sense. And this next question is from Stacy, and we just have a lot of questions like this coming in about collateral, ready-made collateral, and specifically ready-made Facebook posts. Are those available on your marketing website?
So ready-made collateral absolutely is, and we have been working with the marketing team to have much more turnkey assets for social media. I would say if you need something and you're not finding it on our Azamara Connect site, please reach out to your local sales manager, and they will be more than happy to assist you with whatever your needs might be for those types of assets.
Awesome. And it looks like our last question will be from Dana, and you touched on this as well. She is wondering about agent rates and how far out they're available.
Okay, so right now, Dana, we've kind of pulled back the agent rates. I think we're waiting until the no sale order is lifted. But if I can speak in general, usually we've opened up TA rates about 4 to 5 months prior to departure. And just to explain how this works, so TA rates is usually, it could be any sailing that we open them up on that you could apply for TA rates on. Seminar at sea rates, we usually try to open those up when we start in the year, so usually about in January, and we have predefined dates with the local sales manager that we open up, and those could be anywhere from 4 months out to even 9 to 10 months out. Because sometimes we'll open the seminars at sea in January, and we have some that start in September or October. Again, that will be something. Just make sure your local sales manager has your email address, and they can make sure they keep you in the loop on the seminar at sea rates. The TA rates you could find on cruisingpower.com when they are available. As I mentioned, right now they are not listed until the no sale order goes away. And just so you guys know, so when you do submit a request for a TA rate through Espresso, it asks you for a booking number from a recent booking that you had made. And just so you know, it does not, if you're applying for TA rates on Azamara, it does not have to be a booking ID for Azamara. It would just have to be a booking ID either on Royal, Celebrity, or Azamara made in the past 12 months, and that would qualify you.
Okay, great. And that was our last question. So thank you everyone so much for joining us, and thank you, Nils, for all the wonderful information.
Thanks, Anna, and thank you everyone, and stay safe out there. And like I said, it was some good news yesterday. It's a nice way forward to start the week, and hopefully, by the end of the month, we're getting even more positive news. So thank you again for all the support you have out there with Azamara, and have a great day.
Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.